We are live, literally live at the Next Level Show. We are streaming, actually. This is actually a whole new feel. And for the listeners that don't know, we are using a different platform. We moved away from Zoom. So it has its pros and its cons. The pro is that literally for some reason the internet hates me more on this thing, so it makes me at times look blurry and probably looks like shit right now, but the audio seems to be good. That's the most important because people mostly are listening to the on our audio platforms like Apple, Spotify, and any other audio podcast platform that you of your choice. We're typically there. I haven't yet to have a problem where like I can't find you guys. We're usually there, so if you just look up the Next Level Show, you're good. Well, with this being said, I know the little logo Mike doesn't like on the screen. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're gonna have to deal with this for just one more episode, dude, because I'm literally running out of the free trial, and we just wanted to see if it works. How you guys
Get
doing?
that dirty shit out of my face. It's visually unappealing because it's a logo. It's not our logo. It's only on one side. It's not on the other. Fuck that duck.
So if it would have been on both sides, you would have been cool with it?
I would have been more cool with it, but I just don't like it. You know, I feel like we need to somehow match the green and the yellow and the white. And it just feels weird. And it's not perfectly lined up. So like in the top corner of the screen, also my mirror, I'm like mirrored. So this is my right hand, which is confusing me. It's magic. But it's not even like squared up with the corner of like, so Gabe, you're up in that corner right now.
Oh, I see.
And it's not perfectly lined up with the corner. It's just slightly off to the, and that's probably the most offensive part to me.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst part. Yeah.
Thanks for pointing it out.
But
basically the symmetry is what you're not happy with.
Yeah. It's okay.
But this is what happens. This is what happens when we're renting a space, right? This is like what Adam said to us about Zoom, like our first like 20 episodes. He's like, "You guys renting Zoom right now?" Because we didn't have the paid, unlimited, all that other cool stuff that comes with it. But yeah, we're gonna use this. The cool thing about this, I'm excited about. I'm gonna go through more tutorials, is actually being able to add stuff on the screen for our listeners. Eventually, I want to get to a point where it's very visually crisp. Everything looks cool. So we can actually even bring up stuff that we're bringing, like, maybe a study that we want to pull up on the screen. Because I know the listeners sometimes say like, well, or a client may ask you like, where's that study? Or you can actually direct them to the episode. Boom. We can share the screen in real time. And once it's up and running with YouTube, because the cool thing about the streaming service, we can even come back onto Facebook. We can go onto Facebook. We can go on Twitch, which I don't really dabble with Twitch, but there's a features for Twitch. There's features for obviously the YouTube. And if you catch us at a recording time, you can actually chat with us. And we can even get to a point where you guys want, we can do live Q&As literally. And you guys can talk with us. And we can answer any comments, questions, or concerns, which I think it'll just change the dynamic of the podcast. Why not, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'll be cool to just get that interaction right then and there. All these options. I mean, isn't it once you hear about all this, you're like, oh yeah, doesn't that just makes perfect sense? Why isn't this like a thing everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say I'm most excited to find out who our first troll is going to be.
I know, right?
That would be Mike.
Well,
Mike's
ready.
Chatting with us. He'll be pulling up his phone and talking smack. Yeah, he'll be like the long lost wizard, and you just start trolling us weird comments or scientific things that we don't even know. But I think that it's going to be it's a different dynamic. The reason why I haven't got this idea is because I've seen other content creators do this, which I think is really neat. Because imagine if you're able to just interact or just send a comment or support. I know people also make some type of income doing this, but it's more so from the dynamic standpoint. That's all cool and dandy. It can probably go to better equipment or better stuff for the show that we can make this more dynamic for you guys and just even better. In this case, my better internet service, because this is like ridiculous. Like I can go somewhere and record that's better. And yeah, there's just so many things that we have to discover with this. I think that the podcasting world as a whole is becoming like TV. Literally, like you can create a full-blown media business with cameras and different effects and all these different stuff that you can add to your show as you see fit. So I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully we'll see where this kind of takes us. And you let us know, listeners, if you guys like this stuff, and maybe it might motivate you to watch more on the YouTube channel. Who knows? If it seems to be going that way, awesome. If not, we'll keep just pumping content out for the audio that you just enjoy, maybe driving or just putting on your headphones and doing other things on your phone. Who knows? We'll see what happens, right? Anyways, boys, how this is a post Thanksgiving episode, right? As you can see by the title of the episode, what to do after Thanksgiving, after the aftermath of Thanksgiving, I should have put, right? Like after all the destruction, all the damage, all the progress lost and forever. Before we get into that, how was your actual Thanksgivings? What'd you guys do?
Stood home, watched movies, and ate. I actually ended up trying.
Did you eat a lot?
I didn't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, it didn't feel like it. I wasn't like bloated. I didn't feel like just hungover. I didn't get any of that feeling whatsoever. But I don't know. Enough. It's weird. I don't know how to answer that.
That makes one of us. So this morning was a reminder. I know from I understand from like the scientific side of like how sodium affects the amount of water and how many carbohydrates you eat and how much that can bloat you out and all that kind of stuff. But today when I put on my watch, it was like trying to put a watch on like a sausage that was just like, because I fucking way overate last night. Way overate because I love all of Thanksgiving food. It's my favorite holiday for the food.
Okay.
And yeah, dude, my wrist was like a little pork sausage, dude. It was crazy how much bloat I got from it. It's since like dissipated, obviously, because the day's gone on. But yeah, I ate my heart out.
So since you love this Thanksgiving food so much, like specifically with the foods that you had last night, could you rank them? Like, what was your favorite, and go down the list?
Yeah. So my family has like every family has like the food they make, right? My mom does like it's called like Coke salad. It's got Coca-Cola and Jello and like all this like fruity stuff in there. It's actually like more of a dessert. I put that ever since I was young. I've been putting that on turkey. And I eat like as much of that as I can get my fucking hands on. Corn casserole, and then there's a stuffing with like bacon and celery and like all this other stuff that's really fucking good. I basically just do a little circuit with those three, and then any space that's left will go to like the sweet potatoes or and then of course apple pie. Gotta have some apple pie. Yeah. I would say honestly probably the turkey with the Coke salad on top. That's probably my favorite, just because it's protein, it's caffeine, it's sugar, it's red.
Okay,
it's nice. Lots of things going for it.
I've been dieting for the last month, so I've been. I was like joking, like I'm like coming out of my deficit right for before dinner, and I ate a good amount. Ironically enough, I woke up later. So I expected, because I actually had hit a pretty decent low from my cut so far. And I'm thinking, well, maybe this will be the day that I'll purposely spike up. Like I actually ate more carbohydrates than I had the last 3-4 days. And I ate enough, like I felt like I ate a lot, but I didn't feel bad. Like I didn't feel like super full or like to the point where I was like in pain because of it. I didn't have sausage wrist or anything afterwards either. So I think I did pretty good. And I'm probably going to squeeze in a workout. I'm pretty much done with work today. So I'm going to see if I can go get a workout in. I was actually happy because I'm not a really big turkey person. And that's why Thanksgiving, I enjoy it, I guess, from the family side of things. But it's not my favorite holiday. I enjoy a normal barbecue more than anything. If you're making a bunch of steak, then that'd be my favorite holiday, I think. But the bacon this year, my mom made it fantastic. I thought it was pretty cool. She wrapped it with bacon on top. So what I noticed was that it kept it moist. I'm gonna throw that word for our listeners that make them cringe. I just wanted to put it on purpose, but it tasted great, man. It had like good flavor. I haven't had that type of combo before, and I thought it was pretty great. So I actually definitely enjoyed the turkey. I ate leftovers today, mashed potatoes, sweet potato, like this weird dessert thing with sweet potatoes. And my favorite thing on Thanksgiving that my mom makes is fruit salad, bro. It's with condensed milk, the
Oh,
different fruit
nice.
cuts, and
Yeah.
the little tiny marshmallows, bro. I'm not a big marshmallow guy, but that was like just ate as much of that as I could, and that's what I thought. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna spike up, but no, I felt great. But I mean, it's just my favorite thing on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I kind of don't care too much for the turkey because of how dry it is as well. But no, the turkey that we had last night was really really good. It was like you said, it wasn't dry and it was gross because of the gravy that was put on top of it. But this is actually another reason as to why I guess I didn't overeat or anything, because this is last night was what the third time that we cooked Thanksgiving style foods this month.
Mm.
So that's
Oh.
I was just like, yeah, whatever. But it was cool because it lasted, a good amount of time. What did we have? Actually, so last night we didn't go anywhere. We just stood home, just the four of us. And because we did that, we didn't since this is the third time now making Thanksgiving food, we didn't want to kind of go out and do a whole big shebang.
Mm-hmm.
So in Costco, they actually have like in two pans, like just half a like a they're half or a quarter of a turkey on top of like a stuffing and then some mashed potatoes and some green beans. And we had sweet potatoes, so we kind of had just those kind of things. And yeah, just the sweet potato is just great the way that Jennifer makes it. I mean, it's typical, with the brown sugar and like the oatmeal kind of like the oats on top and the marshmallows. To your point, maybe that's what you're talking about. And it was great. So it lasted like a good amount of couple days. So that's another reason as to why I didn't overeat because of that. But I
Mm-hmm.
really really enjoy the turkey because of that. Typically we do like what like a pork that's maybe like a little bit
Mm.
better. Me
Like a
personally.
pernil.
Oh, dude, and the skin, the crunchy on top.
Yeah.
I kind of just started to mouth water right there, but it was good stuff, good times, and all we did was just like I said, stood home. We finally got to see that movie, Red Notice by the Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal
Mm.
Gadot. Did
How'd
you
you
guys
like
see
Yeah,
that? It
yeah, that
was
was
Yeah, I
good.
good.
saw it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
It was fun. It was a fun
Yeah,
movie.
we started watching some Christmas movies. What did we do? We did Elf. We did Home Alone 2, and Jingle All the Way. That's what we've seen so far.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really been watching that many movies, honestly. What I did watch Red Notice. Thought it was pretty a fun movie,
Yeah.
entertaining. I actually got into oh dude, I'm gonna have to download this freaking app and streaming service just to finish the season, but it's Dexter New Blood. I watched the original Dexter years ago.
Is
Dude,
that out?
they've get yes, it's 3 episodes in right now.
Oh shit!
Dude, YouTube, brilliant way to latch me. I give shout out to YouTube because they knew what they were doing. They did the premiere episode for free and they put it on there and you could watch it and it's just enough to be like, damn, I gotta get the damn. He's like, oh, enjoy the rest of it on Showtime. And
Okay, okay.
so yeah, they didn't put any more, of course. They didn't, they're smart. So it's like, let's just put this on there and subscribe. So I'm probably gonna pay for it if I have to for the remaining of the season. Then I'll cancel it. But because I don't really watch Showtime stuff, but yeah, dude, it brought me back memories. I'm like, damn, this is a good show. The characters, like they brought some stuff back. I don't want to ruin it, but the first
Don't run.
episode caught my interest already. So I'm sold. I'm ready. I want to
Mm.
continue watching it.
You got into that, Mike?
Yeah, I love Dexter. I hated. Why do the endings of shows that I like always fucking suck? I
Yeah,
hated the
it's
way it
always
ended.
disappointing.
Yeah,
But that's why I'm actually very happy that they made the
Yeah.
new season because okay, cool. It never ended, right?
it
Technically,
redeems
now
it.
we're back.
Hopefully,
Yes,
yeah.
like hopefully it does it justice. So I wasn't disappointed with the ending as much because I think I watched it all the way through from beginning to end, kind of like Game of Thrones. I never was watching it bit by bit. I would have been pissed if I waited 2 years for the ending of Game of Thrones, where people are still scarred over. It was a very traumatizing moment for the fans
I
that they
don't.
just
I don't even
didn't
know what you're talking about.
have. So
What do you
I
mean?
totally get it.
They never ended it. It just left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, no.
Season
So
7. We'll never know.
but I guess to get into it, right? Is there any other updates that we need for our listeners? Gabe, obviously, for people that don't know, Gabe's finally back after like 3 months of not being on the show. So
Hey
welcome
guys.
back, man. Glad to have you on the final quarter of the year.
Did you real quick? Did you guys buy anything for Black Friday?
No, I'm not yet. I'm gonna
No.
probably go to Sleep Number today, Mike,
Ooh,
and see if they have any good deals going on or good
about to
financing
live the
options.
high life. My car is my car's getting a facelift.
Nice.
Is it?
Yeah, things are cheap right now, dude. I literally bought some things that were quite literally half off, and I
Oh,
needed
shit.
2 of them, so I got both parts that I needed for the price of one, and then I got some other stuff too. That
Did you get an exhaust?
no, I'm leaving it mechanically stock
Mhm.
until I'm like 100% with shifting both casually and passionately, we'll call it. Casually I'm doing just fine, but as soon as I like fucking punch it, it gets a little bit more wild, and I'm
Mhm.
not quite as confident with the timing. So I know every time it like clunks in the transmission, that's sending a lot of like tension and stress through the gears and all the mechanical components and
It's
stuff like that.
fine, bro.
So I
It's meant to
figure,
be
well,
read.
it is, but I know that if I just add more horsepower or more torque or more stress to it, it's just going to wear it down even more than I already am. So I'm going to wait till I'm really good with it, and then we void the warranty.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I think that I mean it just depends, man. As long as you're not, it doesn't smell like burnt clutch when you're driving. That's a
So far,
positive sign.
I've only smelled one thing that I was like, ooh, that's probably what clutch smells like. That's only
Yeah,
happened
you've
once.
like when
So
you've
all
read
the
the
other
clutch.
times,
It happens.
yeah.
But they're more resilient than you think. Typically, like usually manual cars last up to about a good to 75 to 100,000 miles without having to replace the clutch. So as long as you're not beating the hell out of it, like ridiculously, you should be fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I drive like a grandpa. Usually there's a child in the back, which means I keep it under 3,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Unless the person in front of me is really pissing me off. Which is nice because that's exactly what the car's able to do. If somebody's driving like a fucking asshole in front of me, I can push the pedal down and get around them super quick. But yeah.
Sorry about the dog, but
Hi,
she
Bailey.
just sees it. Now the door is actually open. I'm actually gonna close it, but I kind of want to like yeah, just to your point, I am gonna go check out the Sleep Number today, see what happens with that, and I might get a new bed in the next couple of days, guys. So that's gonna be I'm gonna give you guys updates if I do, and let you know how much I'm sleeping so much better. But no, I think it's just like having a nice upgrade. It's time, though. My mattress is let's just say it's seen too much. It's just
Got
been
a little.
it's been
Got a
been through
couple
too much.
dents.
Yeah, let's just leave it like that. Transition to the other side of the show. It's been a little reunion. We're gonna actually. Oh, in the last update, I would give our listeners part of the show. It would be we're probably dropping down right now to 1 episode a week, just to bring you guys a longer show and just a more complete, with the good entrance, intro, and then the meat of the episode, and then we can kind of close out. Just because schedule conflicts, we want to have all of us on the show. We just came to the agreement that even though that we don't want to necessarily, it might be best just for now until we get some other things in order. And yeah, we'll bump it back up to 2, maybe in the future, depending on how life is, back up to 3. But typically, we'll try to get back up to 2 in the next couple months or so at tops. And if you guys have any ideas for the episodes, please shoot us a message over. You guys can hit us up on Instagram. I've been waiting to do this whole episode. And just follow. Those are our Instagram handles right there. So you guys can go ahead and check us out if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, just scroll down to the meat of the episode on the show notes that Mike does a fantastic job at doing. You guys can check us out there and just shoot us a DM if you have any ideas, complaints. And when the chats open up, you guys can let us know on spot, right? So with that being said, are we ready to talk about the aftermath of Thanksgiving for our listeners?
I'd say so.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So I think that I kind of wanted to lead with the first point being as obvious as this may feel, it's the holidays, right? I don't want anyone right now listening to this or maybe the couple days after to feel any type of guilt during the holidays, especially after the day after this it happens. I know things Christmas is coming. Some people have big dinners for those holidays as well. Just like we would mention to you guys after a birthday celebration with your family or any type of special event that happens throughout the year, I want our listeners to go into this without any guilt. And I think me and Mike did an episode a couple weeks back about how to give yourself permission to actually enjoy the holidays, regardless of whatever plan you're on right now. Whatever, unless you're competing, there's really no need to really restrict as hard to, especially for a day. You can let loose for a few days out of the year, especially if you're really focused and you're killing it the rest of the time. I just wanted to kind of start off the episode with saying, don't allow yourself to feel guilty.
Yeah, it makes no sense to just go like anytime, like any event, any birthday party or any gathering or whatever that you kind of go into and you're just like, oh, I kind of don't want to go because if I do, I'm gonna, I might be tempted and just to overeat or whatever, and then you just start going into things with that kind of mindset. When this time of year, whenever you get around or gather with friends or family, it should more be about the getting together and just companionship as opposed to stressing or worrying about how much Coke salad you're gonna put on your turkey. So
Yeah.
right. So look at Mike. I mean, like he just said, yo, I'm gonna go to town because this is the only time that I have this. So and fine. And if you wake up the next day with a sausage like wrist, it's fine. I mean, it'll go away. I'm sure it's fine now or tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine
See,
now.
look at that. Boom.
Yep.
Done. So that sometimes even when you get that immediate response of that water retention with the sodium or whatever, it might make you think like, oh, why did I do that? But I mean, you've had a good time, right? I'm sure. So then, what's the big deal? No big deal.
Yeah. Don't be that guy.
No, you really
you don't want to be the guy that's at the party or the festivity or whatever, and everybody's having a good time, and you're like being nitpicky about how many grams of carbs and how much fat, and I can't have that, I can't have this. I mean, I understand vegan and vegetarian and whatever preferences like that. I would assume you're not going
allergies, right?
Yeah, allergies. I mean, there's obvious
That's
exceptions to this, but you're going to a holiday dinner, and unless you have a show or a competition of some kind that you're preparing for, and everybody in your family is like supportive of you in that regard. But if this is just like you're an average person and you just have the average goals, not to discount your goals, but enjoy the holiday. It's about family. It's not about you per se.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, John, so new place, right? So imagine if you're throwing a get together or gathering, and it happens to be next year, the Thanksgiving. Imagine somebody comes over and then you're there, you have your spread out, and somebody was like, "Hey, how much protein is in this? How many grams of carbs are in this?" You're gonna look at him like, "The fuck? Shut up! You want it or not? Have it or don't."
There's like 57.7 grams of protein.
I mean, you probably would know, right? But still, it's like
no, I
you
know
look
what
at him
you're
like, "The hell."
So I was actually thinking, like, it brought me back. My Facebook lets me know that I had my show for 2017, so it's been 4 years of this date today. I remember Thanksgiving that year. I had to compete that weekend, and I wasn't planning on that. I was trying to compete before, but I wasn't fully ready, so we extended it. So I did have one Thanksgiving where I did go through that thing of having to not participate, but I did participate. So what happened was I just had my meal that I normally would have, and that time I actually I had a filet mignon, so I had just a nice cut of steak. I had a slightly bigger serving of rice and a bigger serving of vegetables. So luckily for me, my family doesn't well, in this case I've only celebrated with my mom and my siblings as in the last couple of years. We don't have a lot of food because it's just us. So versus if I was to go to a big family gathering, you would have a bigger spread, right? And then I think it would have been a little bit more challenging, maybe, especially because I was hungry. But I don't see the good thing too is that I like healthy food. So it's not like I'm like, damn, I need to have this pie. I'm not a pie person, so I don't care if it's a pie. It was actually a pie that year. I remember I didn't care. I'm like, whatever. And I do remember that it was the only time that I didn't participate. Even this year, man, I smashed a lot of potato salad, a lot of turkey, the sweet potato stuff. So I'm still getting like normal food. And that's why probably I didn't feel like Mike this morning. So I didn't have a lot of Coca-Cola. But and luckily that year my mom didn't make fruit salad, so that would have killed me, honestly. I think there are foods that I've been like, oh, I gotta like not look. But yeah, like what Gabe is saying, like when you go into it, I just want like, you know, you can have a game plan, right? Like, I'm
Yes.
still following somewhat of a diet structured. So I did have my normal breakfast of just, I didn't have any carbohydrates though. I just literally just did a lot of a couple whole eggs and then more egg whites, and I had a very big platter of eggs, and I think I had maybe something else, but I can't remember. And I literally just coasted till dinner time, and so that's probably why I didn't experience such a big spike. But then for the app, what I would say after the fact of this happens, right? Let's say you do feel a little bit of guilt, even though it's hard. You know, realistically, it's not a big deal. I know a lot of people's immediate reaction is like, "Let me go work out really hard today," with the mindset of trying to offset what you did, or let me fast today all day and not eat a damn thing out of a punishment mentality. Now,
Yes.
I'm not against doing exercise nor fasting afterwards, but like we said at the beginning, if you go into it with a negative mentality, that's not what you want to create the association post holiday or post a fun meal, if whatever you want to call it. What do you guys think about that? Gabe?
Well, both of those strategies are pretty sound, right? I mean, you could say, you know what, I know that I'm gonna maybe overindulge later on today or hopefully midday or closer to the midday than the evening. I'm going to just maybe not have something or skip breakfast or just have a very light one. And just be cool about it and just kind of like go through it like that. That's totally fine. But if you say to yourself, there's no way I'm going to just starve myself because I'm going to just just going to stuff my face later. I mean, that's just right then and there. You can see it's totally two different kind of mindsets going into it. So if you're in on the former, then go right ahead. I mean, that sounds like a pretty sound strategy for anything, right? If you're going to go meet up with with friends or family or during this time, right? There's a lot of gatherings anytime between Thanksgiving and probably New Year's, right? I'd extend it to New Year's.
Yeah.
So that's the case, and fine, go right ahead. Or if you say, you know what, I want to really kind of get after it a little bit more inside the gym today because I'm going to go and crush it later, then cool. But to go into it from like a punishment standpoint, I mean, it just makes no sense. And also, what makes even more, if you and you might think to yourself, I'm going to either offset or I'm going to just, take a whole bunch of steps back by overindulging anytime during Thanksgiving and Christmas or New Year's. That doesn't really matter so much. I mean, what really matters more so is what happens between Christmas and Thanksgiving. So pay attention more to that portion of the year as opposed to Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Absolutely. Mike?
See what you did there.
Aha!
So yeah, he means like after Thanksgiving, or no, after Christmas to the next year's Thanksgiving.
There you
Yeah.
go.
A
See?
little,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, little Kansas City shuffle for you. I think what we're talking about here is context matters. It really
Yes.
depends on where your brain is at while you're making these post-holiday plans. If you're going to have a really intense workout the day after, there's a fundamental difference between approaching it as like, I'm punishing myself for the sins I committed last night with
Mhm.
the stuffing, or I know I'm loaded up on carbs and I have a bunch of fuel and I'm going to go have a kick-ass workout because I love exercise and I love myself. There's two very different starting points with those two concepts. And then ironically, I haven't eaten today, so technically I'm fasting, bro. But I just haven't had the fucking time. It's not like I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And that probably did help with my water retention going down, but I didn't exactly do it on purpose. It's kind of just the way things are on certain days. I just don't have the time. So, but yeah, I think that's a pretty difficult line for some people to cross, where it's just the way that you view yourself and the way you view food, and maybe it's something that you're dreading the holidays because of the food. So
Yeah.
at least with my clients, the way I kind of talk to them about it. It's like, don't feel like you're obligated to not partake. Don't feel like you're obligated to come in and kick your own ass the next day. We'll still get our normal workouts in. We're not going to change anything too drastically, and just moderate yourself. If you're really that worried about it, just make sure that you're staying consistent. Track your calories the best you can. If you can't track Thanksgiving, then pick it back up today or tomorrow, and whatever day you're listening to this on, make sure you're sticking to the plan. I mean, don't let it knock you off the wagon. It doesn't have to. Just one meal isn't going to ruin anything. May feel bloated, it'll go away.
It's for the people that actually been sticking to their plan, this day will actually do you much better than actually negatively affect you.
Yep.
Even with the bad foods, right? You're gonna experience a plus. I think that's what happened with me, for example, is that I didn't have a negative effect because I didn't go completely overboard. Because I don't look at food that way as a form of like, let me escape and like, let me just try to do this harm to myself. I just ate till I felt like I don't want to eat anymore, literally, and I would stop. So I know that I can eat more of it tomorrow, technically. People are having enjoying their leftovers the next couple of days or whatever. And if you do that, you might experience like that. Their metabolism is like, holy crap, we're getting this rush of more calories and energy. Awesome. So it might even do you some good. That's why the whole cheat meal thing exists in a lot of like bodybuilding diets, or just people that follow very rigid, strict diets. You strategically add dirty food or clean, non-clean food or whatever you want to label it, to give that body that refeed. And that's all that is necessary. Is a refeed in other terms. So it might do you some good. Now, the thing following that the next day, I would say, is literally like Mike said, he's fasting because that's just the way his schedule is. And I think you do that more often than not just because of your life. But it's if you're someone that you're following your plan and you have a plan, let's say you're following like a structured meal plan or just an order of things, go back to that the next day. If you're feeling back to normal, go. If you have a workout schedule the next day, go work out. Or if you haven't and you feel like it, go train and have some fun. But just go back to normal programming the next day after something like this happens. And it doesn't have to be the holidays, but just go back to that, because you want to get back to your bodies, continue building those habits, continue feeling getting into a flow. And you'll be back to normal by the next 2 to max 3 days. And that's if you are holding water. It took you a little longer to flush. Just go back to normal thing, because it just does your mind better, right?
The double flush.
The double flush. And just go back to normal. You'll be fine, trust me. I think that it's just finding normality in these things, because if you give it way too much attention, that's all you're going to be thinking about. And that's where the guilt will kind of want to creep in there. You start overthinking the situation when it's really not that deep.
And I think I kind of like, crapped on someone just saying, coming into a gathering and saying, hey, how much is this or how much is that or what's going on here? I mean, if you're in that position, like how you were a couple of Thanksgivings ago, where you were prepping for a show or right there around it, you just say, hey, to whomever is the host, hey, just so you know, I'm going to come, but I'm doing this, or they most likely know about what you're doing. I'm going to just be a little more mindful about what I'm having or whatever, or I'm going to bring in my own. They'll be like, okay, whatever, no big deal. I don't care. They just want you there. They don't care about, what the hell you have. I mean, they just want your company. They just want your your input, your just you being around, and that's just the most important part. And then to you guys' point about what you do the next day, I mean, like, it's just like how you say, one meal is not going to throw you off. One day is not going to throw you off, unless, I mean, can you imagine what you need to do for a day to really throw you off? I mean, you probably would not be able to physically move for how much you consume. And I don't think it'd be possible for you to consume enough for that to happen. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. It's like about to say, you know what? I'm making a definite, saying, and that's not fair. But it's essentially, it's hard for that to happen. So
you would have to do that consistently to really do some real harm, right? So
that's what I'm saying. So for one day, it's not gonna.
Yeah, dude. I remember it reminds me of like years ago. I was in Orlando for the full day. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. I was there for maybe a weekend. I go and I have for lunch this in Colombia we have what's called a bandeja paisa. Basically, it's a very big platter of food. It had, I think I took Mike once to eat it in Cape, that Cape Colombian restaurant, Mike. Do you remember that big
Yeah.
platter of food?
Oh
So
yeah.
just imagine that on steroids, like in Orlando. They had a good restaurant there, and that was like I think easily like about a 25 to 3,500 calorie plate. Just that one plate alone, right? So, and then we had like other things throughout the day, and then for dinner, because we don't have Shake Shack here, we had Shake Shack, and
That's
it's a
amazing.
pretty dope burger spot.
It
And
really is.
I had the
It's great.
burger, double burger with the bacon and everything loaded, plus the fries, plus the milkshake. Dude, I had, I think the end of that day like 6,000 calories or something, much more than I normally would used to do. I woke up like 7 or 8 pounds heavier, dog. The next day it was just boom, huge. So I
That
was
calls for a
like,
double flush.
yeah, that was a double flush day. I think I definitely fasted. 'Cause I needed my body just needed a break to digest then because it was too much. But it's rare if that normally happens to the average person. Obviously, there's exceptions to the rules for everything, but that's the biggest thing is just go back to normal. Go back to normal after. Go back to your normal routine. And honestly, a good game plan. If you're let's say scratch that. Let's say if you're someone that needs this. All the things that we have said has been valid up to this point. But let's say you are that person. It's like, you know what? That sounds fine and dandy. But what if I need to like purposely schedule something afterwards to kind of keep me on track? We got you. So I do admire people that plan specific events, physical, like activity. It doesn't have to be working out with the weights, but creating maybe a tradition or something in your family that you guys can bond over outside of just food. Maybe it might be like play softball the next day, or play. I know my Latino families play soccer the next day when all the cousins are in town. Basketball, volleyball, like go do something active. Or if you're somewhere that's beautiful scenery, you schedule purposely a hike or something that you go do with your significant other or with your family, whoever. You just plan some form of fun activity the next day after the fact. And I think that only that you start creating a positive association with the exercise with the people that you care about, and you all have fun. Because for going to go for a like long walk or go walk on the beach or go play volleyball for fun, it's not like you guys are like, no one's like probably a pro in the family, right? It's just you guys are just smacking the ball, having some fun, and or running around playing soccer, and people are falling over, laughing. It's a way to bond and have fun, dude. And it's like, I think that it's a perfect way to, do that, and because the thing is that like the people have negative association with the gym. So maybe the gym might be a place like, that's like more work related. That's more my when I'm working, I'm off this whole weekend, whatever. You go do something that breaks the routine, but you make it part of your guys' family tradition. So if you do that, you're gonna look at it like you're actually gonna look forward to it versus dread it. It based on what I've seen and talking to other families that do stuff that are pretty cool, I think that you guys will like that.
Great advice. Like it.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. That's actually a really good idea. And I was just thinking it's almost backwards because I know that there are a lot of like 5Ks and stuff like that the day of Thanksgiving, or at least around here I
Day
know of a
of.
big
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
The day of, and it's
Hmm.
almost like it would be better suited to be the day after everybody's already loaded up. But I know that that was a tradition in my family for my mom, and I think maybe a couple of my siblings. I'm not into that whole running for extended periods of time. No, I'm not doing that. But
No.
even to a similar effect though, back when people actually went to stores and walked around in them, uh, Black Friday kind of sets you up for
Yeah.
something in that regard because you're, you know, assuming you're the average American who gets what, like 4,000 steps a day.
I'm sure it's less now.
Yeah, it's probably less now that we don't have to leave our houses very often anymore. But Black Friday makes for, you know, a lot of steps. You're carrying stuff, you're picking
Yeah.
stuff up, assuming. Um, and that can sometimes help with that. Of course, now with online shopping, I mean, I asked literally all of my clients today, and not a single one of them said that they're going out shopping. They're waiting for Cyber Monday, they're going to do all of their online shopping. And I say that as somebody who did online shopping today. So I guess the world's kind of changing in that regard, but food for thought, I guess.
Yeah, that's something that Jennifer and I we used to do. Like, obviously, the last time was 2 years ago. Going out day of Thanksgiving, just afterwards, just kind of walk around, not really having to buy anything, but just kind of experience it. Over here, it's pretty low key. It's not something kind of crazy with the crowds and everything. Outside of the outlet mall, that mall gets pretty intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that we like to do. We were kind of surprised that nothing was open at all. Everything was closed down. The only thing was open that of, like, maybe like a supermarket like Sprouts was open until 4 o'clock, and that's about it. Everything else is opening today like around at 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that's it.
What's Sprouts? Is that like
It's
a
think of like Whole
Publix?
Foods,
Whole Foods? Oh,
or
okay.
Trader Joe's, something like that.
Fancy.
It's good stuff.
Well, I think we covered pretty well the aftermath of Thanksgiving. Just to recap real quick, guys. Don't allow yourself to feel guilty over food or for enjoying yourself. If you're noticing that it's affecting your life negatively, obviously that I think that there's a little bit deeper rooted things there. But for the average person working their ass off year round, enjoy the few times you get to actually unwind, let loose, laugh, have a good desserts and alcohol and whatever the life has to offer with your loved ones, because those are the things that you're not gonna care 10 years down the road what you weighed on Thanksgiving of 2021. You're not gonna give two shits about that. So don't lose sight of why you even try to get yourself to a healthier place, a healthier body, a healthier mind, is just to have some balance there and get back to work. If you're someone that's a creature of habit, get back on it the next day. If you're someone that needs to create positive associations with exercise or create a tradition that allows you to bond over other things outside of eating, then be the one to maybe start that, or talk with your significant other about maybe doing something with the family and changing it up, and maybe, or just anything that's going to create positive associations in your life. We already work a lot. We're already stuck in a routine for the most part. People are like working 9 to 5s on a computer, staring at a computer screen, 40 hours a week, training multiple clients a day. So it's just a way to kind of let loose and get out of it. So, and I think that's kind of it, right? Do we have anything else that we want to add to our listeners?
I got a question that I have for you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
What would you call someone who never farts in public?
Ooh.
It's called a private tutor.
Oh, okay.
You got anything, Mike?
Yes, I do. In light of the holiday, why did the turkey slide into Jonathan's DMs?
Yeah.
I wanted to
Not
gobble.
sure.
It was looking for the stuffing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there you go.
He does not discriminate.
Jesus.
I
can't wait.
No, not enough. Not dark.
No, it was pretty good. Well, I don't got a joke for y'all. So actually, hold on. I think I got something. Give me a second. I'm gonna look for this. You guys can give it. If you guys have anything else in your mind, I'm gonna
Gabe,
pull this up.
Have you seen Eternals yet?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. How do you like it? I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard so many different opinions on it.
It was okay. It's you know what it. So here's the thing. The reason why I'm saying that is because you're not talking about certain kind of characters that you have that much of an interest in, right? Like Captain America, Hawkeye, the new series that started this week, Spider-Man, amazing, completely super excited for that. Are you wearing your Spidey suit to the Spider-Man? Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll think about it.
If I wear that into public again, I may get arrested for indecent exposure.
We'll do it like from Spider-Verse. Put the sweatpants on.
That may not be a bad idea.
And the trench coat. Anyways, I would recommend for you.
That might make it worse.
I'm more excited for what happens after, or what Eternal set up. But it was okay.
It was okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that doesn't make
guys.
me want to go and pay $32 for tickets. But okay,
matinee.
Are you guys ready for this?
We'll see.
I have it for you guys. You guys ready?
Yes. Please, I'm waiting.
So my family told me to stop telling Thanksgiving jokes, but I told them I couldn't stop cold turkey. Boom.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Eternals is better than that joke.
That was oh.
No, I'm trying to say,
mean-
like, you know, go see the movie. Go see the movie. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to clown him.
Yeah.
Promise.
This is why I never participate on this shit. Anywho, with that being said, listeners, I hope you guys like the reunion after the Thanksgiving aftermath and all that good stuff with the craziness that's going on the last couple of days of the year. We're finally closing up 2021. So be on the lookout with any updates and stuff. We will Gabe will be posting the episodes when they release on the Instagram page of the Next Level Show, so you guys can go ahead and follow us there for any announcements. Also, you can check us out on Instagram, as you guys can see here at the Next Level Show. My account is at John Alva Fitness. Gabe is at Prime and Glory, and Mr. Mike is at Mike Nillis PT. And until the next one.